The World Cup final ended with a man being grabbed by the throat, not tackled, not shoved, grabbed by the neck and thrown to the ground by a player from the team that just lost, aimed at a player from the team that just won. The trophy had not even been lifted yet. The confetti was not in the air, and the reigning champions of the world, the defending kings, Lionel Messi's Argentina, chose to end their reign not with a handshake, but with a brawl. So let me ask the only question worth asking after 120 of the ugliest minutes this tournament produced. What the hell happened at the World Cup final? Because if you tuned in expecting a coronation, expecting Messi to ride off into the sunset with a second star, expecting a classic, you got something else entirely. You got a masterclass from one team and a meltdown from the other. You got Spain playing football and Argentina playing something that was not football. And by the end, one very old idea was proven right in front of 80,000 people and a booing crowd that included the President of the United States. Football won. Actually, literally, football won. I will show you exactly how. And before we even get to the football, know this. FIFA had already courted a scandal before kickoff, announcing that for the first time in World Cup final history, there would be a full Super Bowl-style halftime show, a decision that would go on to enrage half the planet. Hold that thought because it deserves its own reckoning and we will get to it. But first, the actual reason 80,000 people were in the building. The actual football, or the actual football that Spain played anyway. Look at the stat sheet, because it might be the most one-sided line I have ever seen from a World Cup final. Spain, 20 shots, 12 of them on target, 1.9 expected goals, 65% of the ball, 76% field tilt, meaning 3/4 of the meaningful attacking action happened in Argentina's half. Argentina, 2 shots, 0 on target, 0, an expected goals figure of 0.2, which is a mathematician's polite way of saying they did nothing. The defending world champions in the final did not force Spain's keeper into a single save, not one. Meanwhile, Emiliano Martinez, Argentina's brilliant goalkeeper, made 11 saves keeping his team alive. Read those two numbers back to back. Argentina, 0 shots on target. Their own keeper, 11 saves. That's not a game. That's a siege with a scoreboard attached. So how does a team get outplayed that badly and stay in it until the 106th minute? Simple. You stop trying to play and you start trying to stop the other team from playing. By any means available. Let me read you the roll call because Argentina's game plan wasn't tactical. It was industrial. 14th minute. Alexis McAllister flies into Dani Olmo with a late, 2-footed, reckless challenge that leaves the Spaniard in a heap. No card. A few minutes later, Nicolas Tagliafico tries to bring down teenage superstar Lamine Yamal in what one refereeing analyst charitably called deliberate and clumsy, dragging him, clipping his heels, raking his studs down his calf, basically fouling him 4 different ways in one motion. No card. Lisandro Martinez 2-foots Mikel Oyarzabal from behind. Then off the bench comes Leandro Paredes, who took one look at the first half foul count and apparently decided it wasn't nasty enough, elbowing Rodri in the back and sparking a melee. Spain's Aymeric Laporte had actually called this before kickoff, warning that Argentina are a team that leave a lot of little messages with their challenges. He wasn't guessing. He'd seen the tournament, and none of this was new. This is exactly how Argentina bullied their way past England in the semi-final, a game that was arguably nastier than the final. They didn't outplay England. They prodded, poked, and provoked them. Enzo Fernandez left one on Elliot Anderson's head early. Paredes caught Jude Bellingham's ankle. Christian Romero goaded England players in their faces after Argentina scored, and their own unused substitute Valentin Barco ran across the pitch taunting opponents so brazenly that Bellingham slapped him across the back of the head for it. That's the blueprint. Get under your skin, drag you down to their level, and hope you crack first. It worked on England. Spain had watched the tape. And here's the thing this channel has been saying for weeks. The referees kept letting Argentina get away with it. This whole tournament, there's been a pattern of officials swallowing the whistle when Argentina crossed the line. And in the final, it happened again. Slovenia's Slavko Vinčić went soft early, trying to keep 22 men on the pitch, and all it did was let Argentina rack up fouls that anywhere else are yellow cards. The first booking didn't come until the 41st minute. In a game that violent. So yes, for this entire run, the whistle has bent Argentina's way, and plenty of people, fairly, have wondered out loud whether FIFA's most marketable circus act was being protected. But here's where Spain did something no conspiracy theory could survive. They made the refereeing irrelevant. You cannot rig a game you cannot get the ball in. Spain simply refused to engage with the shoving and the whining and the theatrics. They put Argentina on a passing carousel, spun it for 2 hours, and let the fouls bounce off them. It was the calmest possible answer to the ugliest possible question. Whatever help Argentina might have hoped for from the men in the middle, it didn't matter, because they never had the ball long enough to be helped. Football won. Then Argentina did Argentina's favorite thing. They self-destructed. Enzo Fernandez, already living dangerously, got booked for dissent after sarcastically applauding the referee, and then, in stoppage time at the end of normal play, with the game crawling toward penalties, he lunged studs down through Spain's teenage defender Pau Cubarsí and launched the poor kid into the sky. Second yellow. Red card. Off. It was, in the words of basically everyone watching, brainless. Argentina, already losing the game in every measurable way, chose to lose a player too, and had to defend the entire 30 minutes of extra time with 10 men. Enzo Fernandez became the third Argentine ever sent off in a World Cup final. Let that sink in, the third. It's practically a tradition. And with the extra man, Spain finally cracked it. First, they thought they had done it earlier, a goal chalked off for a soft foul on Otamendi, the one time all night a whistle went Argentina's way, but the breakthrough only delayed it. By the end of the first period of extra time, Spain had piled up 19 shots to Argentina's 0. The definition of a team knocking and knocking on a door that refused to open, and you could feel the frustration creeping in. Even the ice-cool 19-year-old Yamal got visibly irritated after one too many cynical shoves. Penalties loomed, which would have been a cruel joke on the team that had 65% of the ball and a dozen shots on target. And then, mercifully, the door gave. 106th minute. Pedro Porro, quietly one of the players of the knockout rounds, floated a deep cross to Nico Williams at the back post. Williams arched his neck to nod it back across, and substitute Ferran Torres lashed it past Martinez's despairing dive. 1-0 on Spain's 20th shot. The dam broke, and it broke on the shoulders of a team that had earned it 100 times over. Now let me be fair, because you deserve the other side, and one man on that pitch deserves it more than anyone. Messi. Understand this clearly. Whatever his teammates became on Sunday night, Lionel Messi was not part of it. He had his quietest game of the tournament. One touch in the first 15 minutes, and that was from the kickoff, anonymous, marshaled, running the far side of the pitch, like a memory nobody could quite reach. There was exactly one flicker. Right after Enzo's red card, Messi sprang to life, dug deep into his bottomless well of genius and used it to tell on Mark Cucurella for covering his mouth while talking to him, turning to the referee with his hand raised like a kid asking the teacher to punish the classmate who whispered something mean. The referee was not moved. It was, and I say this with love for the greatest of all time, one of the strangest sights